The other class had some really nice questions. So see what you can scrounge up. Fatu! How can I help?
Ma'am.
Hello.
Ma'am, I wanted to ask if we're going to be doing the algebra that consists of fractions, because that's where I'm like struggling. Like I don't understand anything.
So we're not going to be dealing with fractions today, but do you have a question that you can see that has fractions that's bugging you? We can do that one together now.
Yes, ma'am. I'm looking through this paper and I cannot see. When I see it, ma'am, I'll raise my hand again.
Okay, cool. Okay. Yes, Marilla. How can I help?
Hi, Miss.
Hello.
So there's this one method I always forget to remember. And I really can't remember and I forget when to apply it. So can you tell me a way to remember it better or something?
I mean, what question would it be about?
Exponents.
Oh, exponents. Do you have one that you've got with you?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait. Sorry.
That's okay.
Y'all, don't worry. Do not worry. People are just going on holidays. Don't worry.
Marilla, while you find your question, I'm going to go through Fatu's question and then I'll come back to you.
Okay, so like, ma'am, the question is 2x minus 2 over 3 minus x plus 1 over 4 equals to x minus 3 over 12.
Like that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so two important things. If it was an expression, we have to keep our denominator, but because it's an equation, and what I mean by it being an equation is we have this equal sign. Once we have a common denominator, we're allowed to drop the denominator. Okay. Next thing that really helps in these questions is when you have more than one term on each of your numerators, right at the beginning of a question, put them in brackets. As soon as you do that, it stops you from making very silly mistakes later on. All right. What is my common denominator in this question?
12.
Good. So we're going to multiply that by 4. We're going to multiply that by 3. And that would just be by 1. So we don't need to do anything. So now I would have 4 times 2x minus 2 minus 3 times x plus 1 is equal to x minus 3. And all of that would be over 12. So because it's all over the same thing, we don't need to write it. It's like it doesn't exist.
Oh, okay, ma'am.
Now at this point here, we're going to start doing some of our distribution. Okay, so we're going to distribute that. We're going to distribute that and nothing on that side. So we have 8x. My Siri thought that I was talking to it and it started answering. Anyway, okay. 8x minus 8 minus 3x minus 3 is equal to x minus 3. Now it's an equation. So we want to get our x's on one side. So we want to get all of these on one side and we want to get all of those on the other side. So I'm going to have 8x minus 3x and I'm going to move that other x over. And then on the side I have negative 3 plus 8. So here I've got 4x and here I have got 8. Divide both sides by 4 and x is equal to 2.
Ma'am.
Make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're most welcome. Yes, have you found me your exponent question? Marita? Hello?
Sorry, my button didn't work.
Oh, it's okay.
It's not really exponent though.
Okay.
Brackets.
Yeah.
2 minus y square. Brackets 2 square minus y square equals 4.
Like that?
Yes.
What would they want you to do here? You're going to get such an ugly number. Okay, you can try. Okay, so there is a quick way to do this, but I think I will confuse everyone by doing it, but I'm going to have to, because otherwise it's going to get too ugly. Okay, what we have here is we have a difference of two squares. And I don't know if you can see it. Can you see the dots that we have in this question? This is one term and it's being squared. There's a minus sign, and this is our second term and it's being squared. So this is difference of two squares, even though it doesn't look like it. So what we would be able to do is, we're going to have these big brackets, is we're just going to sort of simplify that out. So we're going to have 2 minus y squared plus y. And then over here, we would have 2 minus y squared minus y. Does that make sense? Do you see it?
Yeah. Okay.
But that's going to give us an ugly answer. Let's try something else. Let's try by multiplying this out. I think we might get a nice answer. I'm just worried about this y to the 4 that's going to grow, but maybe it'll be okay. So let's do FOIL. So we'll get 2 times 2, that's going to give us 4, minus 2y squared, minus 2y squared, plus y to the 4, minus y squared, and I'm going to move my 4 over, minus 4. Okay, now let's look for our like terms. We've got those 2 over there. We've got, oh, and we've got this one over here. I'm leaving someone else. So we've got this one. And then we've got this 4 and this minus 4. Okay, so we have got y to the power of 4. Those 4s are going to cancel. And we've got negative 2y to the 4, so it's negative 4. And then we're going to have negative, so this is y to the power of 4. And then we're going to have negative 5 y squared is equal to 0.
Buddy.
Now, are you happy with that up till that point?
Yes.
Okay, now we're going to take out a highest common factor of y squared, and we'll be left with y squared minus 5 is equal to 0. See it? This is a horrible question. Was this in one of your exams? No, I've lost you.
Sorry, miss. There was a big bang. I muted myself.
It's okay. Was this in one of your exams or in your test?
It is in my book, actually.
It's a horrific question.
Miss, but I vaguely remember the method. It's like a square minus 2ab, something like, and then I don't remember the method.
Oh, okay. So what you're confused about the method. Okay, I hear you. Okay. This was a very nice question. So I mean, I'm glad we went through it, but I hear what you're saying. Okay, if we have a minus b squared, okay. What you're saying is we have a squared minus 2ab plus b squared.
Yeah, that's, oh
yeah.
God.
Okay, so that all that is the quick way of doing a binomial. So when you're squaring a binomial, you can just get straight to this if you do it the quick way. Alternatively, all you're doing is you're writing it out twice, which is what I did over here, and then you just multiply it manually. So you don't have to remember this quick way at all, because you can always just write it out twice and just multiply.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
For those of you who arrived late, guys, we're just going over a couple of questions that people have been getting in their tests or exams or from revision, so that we can just chat about it. Just for a couple more minutes, and then we're going to jump into some more algebra for today. So that's what's going on. Burlington, how can I help?
Hello, ma'am. I just wanted to ask where we're factorizing or solving.
Where we factorizing? Yeah.
Yeah, like
yeah,
on the two equation.
We factorized at that step over there.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Tiana, how can I help?
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
I have a question that was in the exam.
Okay.
I don't know if I answered right though, but like it was congruence in there. And
Okay.
then there was like it was two triangles,
Mhm.
but like they were next to each other. So it had like a, yeah, like that. And then on top there in the corner, it said A, and then under was D, under it. And then C and B. And then they told us like AD, and then they said, why is it bisecting or something like it? AC. I think they said ABC or something like it. Or they said I don't know what they said, but it wasn't. I think they said B and then angle A and then C. And then they said, why does AD bisect the,
So did it say why? Why does it bisect? So as in, why is that angle equal to that angle?
I think so. I just don't remember the question.
But what other information did they give you? Did they give you a right angle, like a right angle? Did they give you, what else did they give you?
They said that AB and AC is equal to each other.
Okay.
And then B and then BD and DC is also equal to each other. Then they put another line.
Okay. So if they've given us, then you're right, we would be doing congruency. So we would say in triangle ABD and triangle ACD. Step 1, AB is equal to AC. Step 2, reason?
Given.
Step 2, BD is equal to DC, given. Step 3, AD is common. Okay. So we've figured out 3 sides, which means we can say, therefore, a triangle ABD is congruent to triangle ACD because of side, side, side. And because they are congruent, that means they are the same in every way. Therefore, angle BAD, so I'm talking about this angle here, that's angle BAD, is equal to angle CAD because they are congruent. So then, therefore, AD bisects angle A.
Ma'am, so okay, I understand that now. But say I forgot. I think I forgot to put is. So
Oh, no. This. We just do that for us.
Now I'm talking about like the is the under. That I forgot to put it in.
But you would
like
lose 1 mark.
Oh, the pressure, man. But thank you.
Okay. But you did well, though, if you understood up to that point. Nice. Okay, let's get going, guys. Let's get into some algebra. If you want screenshots of these, please feel free to take them. And then let's get into some algebra. And hopefully get through some nice, tough questions today. We'll see how it goes. Okay. So just before we get on with what we're going to be doing, this is actually what we were just talking about, which is not so bad. We're going to just try and refocus. Oh no, all of my writing has gone messy here. That's so sad. Okay, just sort that out quickly. I'll write it underneath because I don't want it to look messy like that. Oh, it looks messy. That's fine. Okay. When we have a binomial that is being squared like this, okay, you can always do it the quick way by squaring and then doubling and then squaring, or you can just write it out the long way. You must do which way you're comfortable with, okay? But the key with these ones is brackets. So whenever we get to these types of questions, the first thing we want to do is we want to identify our terms. The second thing we want to do is we want to simplify each term. And then the third thing we want to do is we want to add or subtract like terms. Okay, so those are the 3 things that we are going to be doing when we look through this question. So the first thing we're going to do is this first step. First step, identify the terms. Am I cutting for other people? Can you guys not hear me properly? Yeah, okay.
You are cutting on my side, but I think it's my network because I'm having load shedding.
Okay.
I can hear bits and pieces, but I'm sure it's on my side.
So this section would fall under algebra. This would all fall under algebraic expressions. Okay, so when we get to this point over here, the first thing we're doing is we're identifying our terms. I know that that seems like a silly step, but it's actually quite important because it makes sure that we multiply the right things by the right things. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite this bracket. So I'm going to write two of them side by side because it's being squared. And the reason I'm doing that is so that I don't make the mistake of saying 4x squared plus 1, because that is very wrong. Okay, so by writing out that bracket twice, it's stopping me from making that mistake. The last thing I'm going to do before I start simplifying is I'm going to put a magic bracket around these two. And that magic bracket is going to help me make sure I don't make mistakes with my signs when I multiply them in with distribution. So now we can start simplifying each term. In this term, so within my magic brackets over here, I'm going to do FOIL. You know, we haven't spoken about FOIL for a long time, but we are going to do FOIL. So that means first, outer, inner, last. As in our first term multiplied by our first term, which gives us 4x squared. Our outer term multiplied by our outer term, negative 2x. Our inner terms and our last terms, negative 1 times negative 1, which is positive 1. So all we've done there is we've just multiplied those two together. Now, at this point, you could simplify within that bracket if you wanted to, or you can just now get going with your distribution. So for that distribution, you would be taking this negative sign into everything in that bracket. So we're going to have our 2x over here. But now we're bringing in our negative. So we're going to have negative 4x squared. A negative and a negative is a positive. A negative and a negative is a positive. A negative and a positive is a negative. Okay, so now we have simplified each term. Everything is as simplified as it can be. Our last step is to add and subtract like terms. So we've got 2x, 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 and negative 4x squared and negative 1. So we're going to write negative 4x squared, 2 plus 2 plus 2. That's going to give me 6. And I've got my minus 1. And that would be my final answer once we've done everything. If you have questions about this, please pop your hand up. We can talk it through, and then we're going to deal with some other questions like this today. So Tebogo, don't panic. The reason I'm going through this quite fast is because it's stuff we did do quite a while ago. And we're going to be covering lots more like this throughout the lesson today. But if there's like a step within one of these that you're not too happy with, just pop your hand up and we can talk through it. Burlington, where can I help?
I don't understand FOIL.
You don't understand FOIL. So FOIL is just a way for us to multiply two binomials together. So there's two terms in this one and there's two terms in there. You don't even need to think of FOIL. You just need to think everything has to multiply by everything. So this 2x needs to multiply by that 2x. This 2x needs to multiply with that negative 1. This negative 1 needs to multiply with that 2x, and this negative 1 needs to multiply by that negative 1.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's all FOIL is. FOIL is just
Yes,
making sure we multiply everything in the first brackets by everything in the second brackets.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
No problem. Fatu, how can I help?
Ma'am, how would it be if we simplified the 4x squared minus 2x plus 1 first before we like distributed the negative sign?
So what we would land up with in here is we'd add those two like terms. So we would have 2x minus bracket 4x squared minus 4x plus 1. And then we would do our distribution. So 2x minus 4x squared plus 4x minus 1. And then we would land up with negative 4x squared plus 6x minus
1. Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, no problem. Anyone else have any questions about this before we move on to the next one? Let me know if you do. All good. Yeah, Burlington, how can I help?
Second question. So in these cases, like when we got a square, like outside the bracket, we must not like square everything inside the bracket. We must just add 2 brackets.
Yeah.
Is it a sign of like showing that 2 brackets, another bracket must be taken out?
Yeah, so whenever you see this square sign over there, and it's right next to that bracket like that, that's meaning that that bracket needs to be written twice.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The only reason we do that, guys, is to make sure we don't fall for the trap of just saying 4x squared plus 1. If you feel comfortable by saying going straight from there to that step, that is absolutely okay. You're welcome to do that. No, we can't simplify this last step anymore because there's no more like terms for me to add or subtract. So we can't do anything more with it. Okay. Take a screenshot if you would like, guys. We're going to move on to our next question. All right, this one should feel, this is as easy as these questions can get. Okay, there's no squaring of brackets. There's no funny business going on. It's as simple as it can get. It's just a case of distribution. I want you to work through it. Make sure you understand what's going on. Pop your answers in the chat for me. And when your answers are there, then I'm going to go through this with you guys. Yeah, Burlington, how can I help?
Can I answer? I'm done.
No, sweetheart, I'm going to go through these questions, okay? Just because while we're going through revision, it gets a little bit confusing for everyone. So all I want you guys to do is I want you to think about those 3 things that we spoke about. So the first thing I want you to focus on is identify your terms. The second thing I want you to focus on is simplify your terms. Third thing I want you to focus on is add and subtract like terms. Okay, and when you have your answer, pop it in the chat and we will talk through what you have. So one step at a time. As soon as you've got your answer, just pop it in the chat for me, guys, and then I can get an idea of where we're at as a class. Make sure everyone is on the same page and happy with what's going on.
Let's go, my pibs. We can do this, guys. We are nearly there. We can do it.
Okay, I'm going to give you a oh my gosh, the ice cream van is back, Yolanda.
Oh, this time I can't hear it.
Guys, there's an ice cream truck driving around
I
my
want
neighborhood.
you to go and buy ice cream,
And
Teacher
it's not
Jan.
It's not even hot. And I haven't heard an ice cream truck in years, like since I was a kid. I don't know what to do with the sound. I feel so conflicted. It's like haunting me.
It's taking you back during those days.
I can't go buy ice cream. It's too cold for ice cream. Also, like, I feel weird just chasing a van. That doesn't feel safe. That feels dodgy. I'm nervous. Okay, let's go. Identify our terms. Term 1, term 2. That is step 1. Term 1, term 2. Okay. Step 2, simplify each term. So we're going to take that 2 and multiply it in. We're going to take this -3. We're going to multiply it in. So 2 times x gives us 2x. 2 times 1 gives us 2. -3. I'm actually going to do this in a different color. So every time I change color, that's where you would get a mark. Okay. -3 times x gives us -3x. -3 times -2 gives us +6. So what I mean by that is you would get 1 mark for getting both of those correct and 1 mark for getting both of those correct. So if you have a -6 over here, then you don't get that second mark. Okay. So when I'm changing color like that, it means you'd get a mark there. Then our last step is we have to add and subtract like terms. So we've got 2x minus 3x. They're both x's. And then we've got this 2 and this 6. So 2x minus 3x is going to give us -1x. You can also just say -x. It means the same thing. And then 2 plus 6 gives me an 8. Okay. And that would be my final answer. That's where I would leave this. So marks wise, you're going to get 1 there. You're going to get 1 there. And then you'll get, let's see, we might actually give you 2 marks here, but let's give you 1. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Let me know how you did out of 3, and then we're going to jump to our next question. No, guys, I'm like exaggerating a little bit. Like it's not freezing here. It's just like it's not ice cream weather. That's okay, Anna. That's why we practice maths. It's okay. Hopefully, the more we go through together, the more it will make sense. Oh, Alicia, I'm actually a little bit jealous. I'm not going to lie. Tiana, you didn't fail maths today. Here, calm down. Yeah, you only use your method when there's a square around that bracket. Batu, how can I help?
Ma'am, I wanted to ask, is today's quiz on the revision that we've been like doing from Tuesday till now?
Yeah, so it's going to mainly, it's just algebra.
Okay, ma'am.
It'll be good practice for your exams.
Okay, ma'am.
I've tried to put lots of questions in there for you. Guys, I also made the quizzes very different for the foundation class and for this class. So you can do both quizzes as revision for your exam. It might help. Okay, let's go. Tell me that's 2 marks. It's 2 marks, like maximum 3 marks.
Also, you guys have been taking screenshots. If you go to your screenshots, you can quickly just revise before doing it. It will be a good revision for you.
Tibocha, we only do FOIL if we have something that looks like that. So where we've got a bracket, there are 2 terms inside my brackets, and then there's a square on the outside of my bracket. That's the only time I do FOIL. So in this question here, I'm not going to do FOIL. There's nothing I can do FOIL with. So the only thing we're going to do in this question is we're going to identify our different terms. We're going to simplify each term, and then we're going to add and subtract them. That's all we're going to do here. So if you made silly mistakes in the previous question, try and not make those same mistakes in this one. And when you have an answer that you're happy with, pop it in the chat for me. I know you guys do like answering these questions, but I'm doing them. I'm doing the answers just while we go through this revision, just because I think it'll make it clearer for everyone. and it will go a little bit faster so we can try and get through a bit more questions. It's not that I don't love hearing from you. It's just to try and give you as much time during the revision work as possible. Yeah, so we do need to take BODMAS into account here. I'm going to give you guys, I think 1 more minute should be enough for this question. 1 more minute, and then we're going to go through it together. And then I think let's go to a quick brain break and give your brains a little bit of relief. And then we'll carry on going. Okay, let's go. So we've identified our terms. That's step 1. Step 2, we're going to simplify each term. So that is when we think of SNV. S stands for signs. N stands for numbers. V stands for variables. Okay, we just write those little letters just to keep us thinking about what we're doing. That's their whole purpose. Okay, so in this first term over here, we have a positive times a positive, which will be a positive. 3 times 2, which is 6, x times x, which is x squared. Okay, my negative 4x squared, I don't have to do anything to it. Next one, a positive and a negative is a negative. 5 times 1 is 5, x times x squared is x cubed. Cool. You would get a mark for getting that 6x squared. You would get a mark for getting that negative 5x cubed. There's 2 marks sitting there so far. Then we want to find our like terms. So we've got 6x squared minus 4x squared. That's going to give us 2x squared. And we're going to subtract our 5x cubed. You're going to get 1 more mark over there. So this is again sitting out of 3 marks. Let me know how you did. Let me know if it went better than the last one, if it went worse than the last one. If you are unsure about where you've made a mistake, let me know. Yeah. Fatu, yay, Anna, progress.
So like, ma'am, I took out x squared as a common whatever. So like, do we only do that if we have to factorize?
Yeah.
No, don't laugh.
I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have laughed. No, in the question, okay, there'll be 2 different things that it will say. The question will either say simplify or it will say factorize. Okay, if it says simplify and it's not a fraction, then we just do it like this. If it said factorize, then we would look for highest common factors and dots and all of those good things. The time where it gets nasty is sometimes they'll tell you to simplify a fraction. I'm going to show you an example quickly. Hold on. Where are you? Yeah. Okay, this is where it can get nasty. The question will say simplify, and it will look like this, like a fraction. And we have to know at that point that we have to factorize. But that's the only time that we're going to factorize, when the question says simplify.
Okay, ma'am.
So when there's like fractions involved and we need to make sure that we have one term, then we have to factorize, but the question will say simplify. But otherwise, if it says simplify, you just simplify, no factorization.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, sure. Okay, let's pop back down to where we were. Okay, guys, we're going to quickly take a 2-minute break here and do a quick poll. Yolanda's going to talk you through it now, and then we'll take a brain break.
Babes, so what's going to happen is that you guys are going to vote about the poll, right? It's either you are coming to the holiday class, which it starts on the 5th of December, and it's yeah, look at that. It doesn't even allow me to even talk more. Okay, now I can talk. There's some people that are actually interested. So my pips, the holiday classes are for free, and we start on the 5th of December. Every week you're gonna have one lesson. It's still a 1-hour session, and yeah, and I'm sure even at the beginning of January, I think it goes until there. That's how I understood when they gave me the instructions. But my pips, it's gonna be fun, 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 fun. So I hope to see all of you there, even if it was not to go. But I promise you it's gonna be much fun. Okay. So if you have any questions, now is that time that you can ask. I'm giving you 2 minutes before we can go back to the real maths. Okay. So just choose the one that you like. And for more information, by the way, you can ask on WhatsApp, okay? On WhatsApp, you're allowed to ask any information about the holiday classes. The holiday classes are not for grade 10. It's gonna be for grade 9, your grade. So basically, it's just gonna be fun. That's why we're saying that it's not gonna be the maths that you're expecting, even though it's still maths, but it's a fun maths. So Lilita, if you're not sure, you can still choose there, yes, because you think so, that you can go. So it's good for you to just select yes. And if you are sure that you're not going, then you can select no. Bellington, you're not paying, it's for free. The holiday classes are for free. Okay, my peps. So my 1 hour is running away. My English. But 1 hour just left me. I mean, my 1 minute just left me, guys. So I'm gonna laugh and leave you, and let's continue with maths.
I wonder it's not revision. It's just like fun stuff. That's all. Jasmine, how can I help?
Around what time is it? The holiday class?
It's gonna be the same time. I think it might be at 5 though, instead of at 6, like your
and
time.
It'll only be once a week.
It will only be yes.
Yeah.
And
so
information, please do WhatsApp them, and they will give you all this information. Okay, like this you can be sure. Okay, guys, that's it. My pips. Ompile.
Hold on. Alicia, can we help?
Ma'am, I wanted to ask, ma'am, so here, ma'am, if we were to use the 4x instead of the positive 5x, will this answer still stay the same?
If you were to use the 4x,
the negative 4x squared,
like if you multiplied that in,
yes, ma'am, instead of the 5x, your answer would be
very, very different,
ma'am. So we're supposed to use the one closer to the bracket.
Exactly. That's why we take that first step to look at our different terms, because when we identify our terms, it makes sure that we don't multiply things that shouldn't be multiplied together.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, no problem. Umfile, you can absolutely still join. That was not you signing up. It was just whether or not we just want to get an idea of how many people there would be. Anna, how can I help?
Ma'am, I wanted to ask regarding of the holiday classes. Ma'am, are we going to do math problems during the holiday classes?
So Anna, I'm not actually sure exactly all you're going to do. I know you're going to be with teacher Coco and teacher Kat, and they're going to try and make it like super fun. I think there will be maths. Like, I think it'll be basically like an hour-long brain break is what I'm imagining. I don't know. Yolanda, do you think that that's the right sort of idea?
Yes, because guys, you are done with grade 9, so they cannot do grade 9 work because you are done with grade 9.
It's not going to be like more work, and it's not going to be a revision. It's just like going to be like fun stuff.
Yeah, Brian.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. All right, guys. So Brian has just brought you one today, and we're going to just try and go through it nice and quick. I know you're going to be like, only one, but it is because we have to get on with revision, guys, because your exams are on top of us. And it's a maths one today. If you think about it carefully, you'll definitely be able to get your answer. So we had quite a few people in the last class who were able to solve this. So let's see if you guys can solve it too. Don't fall for the traps that are being set here. I would like to know what the answer to my question mark is. That is what I would like to know. See who can figure this one out.
Who is taking Brian the break home? Who is the winner of today?
Hey, they can't take him home, Yolanda. Brian lives with me. They can't rent him. He has a home.
Coco in the class was so confused because everyone was saying Brian's mother is not here. She was, what's going on? I felt really sorry for teacher Coco. Yeah, I'm funny, my babes. Oh.
Oh, so they only accept that I'm Brian's mother when I'm not here. When I'm here, no one accepts my position as his mother. So it's good to know.
Us to be like, Brian's mom is not here. Definitely, we're not having Brian.
Tiana, have you figured it out?
Ma'am.
What you get?
10.
It is 10.
Can I explain how I got 10?
Yes, you and Inga got it at a very similar time. Nice. Tell me how you got there.
Okay, so I mean the apples is 3 because 3 times 3 times 3 is 27.
Good, nice.
And then 3 times 2 times 2 times 2 is gonna be 24.
Perfect.
And then now we know that our lemons is 2, then we say 3 times 2, which is 6.
Mm-hmm.
And then times 4, which gives us 96.
Good.
And then 4 plus 3 times 2 is 10.
Yes, so we have to say 3 times 2 first, so we get our answer of 10. Nice job, Tiana.
Yeah, no?
Woohoo! She is smart, Lucia. I agree. Nice job. That was your brain break for the day. Let's jump back into some maths questions. Let's try and do a couple more before you have to go off to your quiz. So I'm trying to think which one I'd like us to do next. I think let's start bringing in some ones where there are squares. Okay, let's do this one here. Okay, again, so we're going to bring in this idea now of FOIL. So we need to start thinking about our FOIL. So like here, you've got this bracket that is being squared, which means we'll have to do FOIL there. And here we've got 2 binomials next to us. So that's going to be FOIL again over there. So this is a FOIL situation. This is a FOIL situation. I recommend you write that out into your 2 brackets so you don't make a mistake. And I recommend you use your magic brackets around those 2. Okay, those are my recommendations. You don't have to take them. You can do them the way that you would like to go through this question. I'm going to give you a couple more minutes, probably about 2, and then I'm going to go through this one with you. And we can see how you go and what you understand and what you don't understand. And hopefully we can try and help you understand it a little bit more. See how this goes. So just work through each thing. Make sure you're happy with your answer. So all I've done in this first step is we've identified our terms. We're going to simplify each term. And then after we've simplified them, we are going to add or subtract our like terms. That is going to be our next step.
Who is spamming our charts?
It's Burlington.
Bangington, don't spam our chat.
Okay, maybe try and move your cousin away from your device.
We can do this, my babes. Let's do it. Last stretch, my people. So
Last stretch, guys. We're almost there. We are 4 lessons away from ending grade 9.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm so happy for you, my babes.
Almost there. And grade 10 is like the most fun year you can have in high school. So you're in for a good time.
Yeah.
Okay, Lenomta's come in with a solid answer. Let's see if people agree or disagree. I'm going to give you a little bit of extra time to finish this off because I really want you to try and figure out each step. There are definitely a few traps that you could fall into in this question. I don't want you to fall into those traps. And then we'll go through it. Make sure we're all on the same page. You would have written your exam by the next lesson. Oh, Lolita, I'm excited to hear how it goes. Oh, I wonder. Already wrote and still champion, coming to class. Look at you. Okay, Fati's coming in with an answer. We have 2 different answers at the moment. Last 30 seconds, guys. Last 30 seconds. And hopefully we can do one more question after this one. And then we'll get going. Okay, here we go. So we're going to start by doing our FOIL in this first term. Okay, so a times a gives me a squared. Then we have minus 5a plus 2a minus 10. You're going to get 1 mark for getting that correct. So if you got that correct, you're going to give yourself a mark. I'm going to now write my -2. I'm going to put my fancy brackets here, and I'm going to write out this bracket twice to make sure I don't make a mistake. All right. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do this now, but you don't have to do this now. I'm going to just simplify those 2 terms because they're sitting there. So I'm going to have a squared and then -5 plus 2, which is going to give me -3a minus 10. I'm going to keep this -2. I'm going to keep these brackets. And now in here, I'm going to do my FOIL. So 2a times 2a gives me 4a squared. 2a times -3 gives me -6a. -6a plus 9. Okay. Let's simplify these like terms in here again. So I'm going to have a squared minus 3a minus 10 minus 2 times 4a squared minus 12a plus 9. Now I'm going to distribute this -2 into those brackets. I'm going to have a squared minus 3a minus 10 minus 8a squared plus 24a minus 18. And now I'm at my last step where I can add and subtract my like terms. So I've got a squared minus 8a squared. I've got 3a and 24a. And then I have got this -10 and this -18. So my final answer is going to be -7a squared. My a's, I'm going to have plus 21a And then my numbers, I'm going to have minus 28. And that's going to be my final answer. Do you see where you went right, where you went wrong? Do you have questions? Please feel free to ask away. We'll end off the lesson with a nice, easy question that everyone should feel happy with. Just get that confidence back up there before the end of the lesson. But if you have questions about this, let me know. And feel free to take a screenshot. Okay.
Yeah, really well, my pebs.
Yeah, you guys are being champions. Let's do one last one for tonight. Let's get that confidence back up there. Okay. One last one for the evening. First step, identify your terms. Second step, simplify each term. Third step, add and subtract like terms. Yolanda, I have received your message, just so you know.
Thank you. I was about to panic because this thing is going beep, beep, beep.
Don't worry, I got it.
Let's go, my pebs.
One step at a time, guys. Identify your terms, simplify each term, add and subtract like terms. I'm going to give you one more minute. No, so 4 and 4x are not like terms. In order for them to be like terms, they have to have the same variables and the same exponents. Okay, so first step, we identify our terms. Second step, we simplify each term. So we're going to do that with distribution. We're going to end up with negative 2x squared minus 8. A negative and a negative is a positive, positive 4x squared. Okay. Glorious thing about this is that you get 1 mark for getting that, and you get 1 mark for doing that, which means you've got 2 marks sitting on there. Okay. Next step, we are going to add and subtract our like terms. So we've got negative 2x squared, and we've got this 4x squared over here. So negative 2 plus 4 is going to give me positive 2 and minus 8. So you'll get another mark for having that 2x squared over there, and you'd be sitting out of 3. For that type of question. Fatu, how can I help? Oh gosh, you're absolutely right. That should be an X. Thanks, guys. Yeah. Thank you. 100%. Okay, let's do that. So we would have 2x squared minus 8x. Thanks, Fatu. Thanks, Mpiwe. And Mabala. And that's this whole question. So this would be sitting on 3 marks. And so as long as we do it like slowly and carefully, it's okay. Tiana, how can I help?
Ma'am, so if like they say I'm talking wrong. Negative 8x plus
2x squared. Totally fine.
Right. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
No problem. Yeah. Alicia, how can I help?
Ma'am.
Oh, I lost you. Hello?
Ma'am, can you please go back to the previous question's answer?
Question. Yeah, absolutely. All good?
Ma'am, the answer, please, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
This is the answer here.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, no problem. Okay, guys, I'm going to post the link for your quiz. It is in the chat.